And now, in studio, bringing his Midwest values from the Show Me State to the land of San Diego. He's a triple threat, licensed as an attorney, mortgage broker, and a top producing realtor who's crushing the competition. Here to deliver you what's happening in the trenches of the market. Your host, Michael Gaddis.
Welcome back to the Michael Gaddis Show on AM 1170 The Answer. I am your host, Michael Gaddis of michaelgaddis.com and frontierloangroup.com. And as I have told you, I am here every Monday night at 7 p.m. to talk about anything and everything related to real estate. And as I mentioned in the first segment, we are on Facebook Live, so I want to say hello to everyone listening on Facebook Live. And we're going to jump right into our next topic, which is real estate marketing. And you know, real estate marketing is definitely evolving, and part of the catalyst for this evolution is the rise of the internet and the digital world. The internet is changing a lot of different things, and you know, it's just the way that you market properties. Because think of it this way: before the internet, when buyers were looking for houses, they would literally, one, they'd call a real estate agent. Or number two, they would drive around neighborhoods in their car looking for sale signs. And they would call off those signs more, and that's how they would kind of look for properties. But with the rise of all of these, these online solutions for buyers to be able to look for properties, now buyers don't need to do that. They don't need to get in their car and drive around neighborhoods. All they need to do is get on the internet, and they can get on a website like Trulia or Zillow or Redfin or Realtor.com. They can get on any one of these websites and they can look through homes. So it's really, really important that a property have a very good presence on the internet. And so I'm a statistical guy, so I always like to rely on data. And so one of the things I rely on is a study done by the National Association of Realtors. And it's an annual report that comes out that basically talks about the generational trends. And they have some charts here that I look at when I bring to my sellers, and I show them this. And for everyone online or who's looking on Facebook, here you go. This is what it looks like. So the first box says, first step taken during the home buying process. So what is the first step that a home buyer does in the home buying process? So here's the statistics for all buyers. So looked online for properties for sale, 43%. So that's the first thing they did, 43%. Contacted a real estate agent, 15%. Only 15%, the first thing they did was contact a real estate agent. 43%, the first thing they did was look online for properties. That's a pretty telling statistic. And here's something that's even a kicker. The next thing is looked online for information about the home buying process, 12%. So that means that if you add that 12% to the other 43%, 55% of buyers of all ages, the first thing that they did was to look online either for properties for sale or for information on the home buying process. So only 15% contacted a real estate agent. So that, I think, is a very telling statistic, and it's a very important thing for real estate agents to realize that, you know, having an online presence of some sort is extremely valuable, and it's only getting more and more valuable as time goes on. So the next one was talked with a friend or relative about the home buying process. That was 7%. Contacted a bank or mortgage lender, 6%. You know, that's an interesting statistic, because you would think that being, you know, if someone's interested in purchasing a home, one of the first things you think you would do is see how much you could afford. And that is always my recommendation. You know, you need to contact a lender and take a look. I guess that's because I'm a mortgage broker as well, so I guess that's that way I think. But you got to see how much you can afford. Too many people jump on, start looking at properties, only to find out that they can't afford the properties that they're looking at. So it's always nice to know what you should be, how much you can afford before you start looking, because it's kind of like going shopping for a car. You know, if you go to that Mercedes dealership and you drive that S-Class, you're going to like it a lot. And it's going to be real hard to go down and drive a Honda or a Toyota or something if that's what you can afford. So just kind of keep in mind where your budget is, so because it's otherwise you might set yourself up for disappointment of some sort. So let's talk about the next box. The next box is information sources used in home search. This is a very important statistic. Online website, 88% of all buyers use the internet as an information source during their home search. 88%. Now with millennials, 94% with the millennials. So that just tells you millennials are definitely trending up there. Between 35 and 49 is 92% for online research. Between 50 to 59, 88%. 60 to 68 was 84%. And even the 69 to 89 age bracket was 65%. So even in the older generations are turning towards the internet when it comes to purchasing homes and looking for homes. So number 2 on that list was real estate agents at 87. It was following pretty closely behind. And then mobile or tablet, website or application, 50%. But interesting, yard sign was 48%. But you know what's funny? Relocation company, 3%. Billboard, 4%. Television, 4%. Print, newspaper, or advertisement, 21%. Only 21% went to a print newspaper or advertisement. A home book or magazine was 14%. So only 14% of buyers used a home book or magazine to help them buy a house. So the next box is where buyer found the home they purchased. So this is where they eventually found the home that they purchased. So number 1 again, internet at 43%. So 43% of all buyers eventually found the house that they wanted. They found it on the internet. Number 2 was real estate agent at 33%. So internet is beating that by 10%. What I think is a really interesting statistic is home book or magazine. I know a lot of you guys see those home magazines out there, and there's a lot of nice ones out there. Some of them are really pretty. The reality is they didn't even put a statistic there. They just put a little asterisk because it was less than 1%. Less than 1% of home buyers use those home books or magazines. They just don't use them to purchase their house. They might look pretty and you might be able to carry them around, but that's not where they're finding their houses. So the top 2 again are internet and real estate agent. So, and here's the last box I kind of go through with my sellers. Actions taken as a result of internet home search. So after looking at the home, what are the actions that they take? Number 1, drove by or viewed a home, 76%. So after seeing a home on the internet, 76% of the people did a drive-by or called somebody to view the home. So I mean that's a pretty heavy statistic, leaning towards the use of the internet in real estate. So what does that mean? Well, that means that social media and the internet are becoming powerful sources of marketing. And as a real estate professional, you need to evolve as times are evolving, because there's still a lot of antiquated and archaic methods being used out there. And there's nothing wrong with some of the the fundamental ones that have been used for a long period of time, such as open houses and basically the MLS, of course, is a standard. Everybody uses the MLS. But I mean, what I'm saying is that using the internet sources, the digital media is where the trends are going. You're listening to the Michael Gaddis Show on AM 1170 The Answer. I am your host, Michael Gaddis of michaelgaddis.com, and we're talking about real estate marketing and the importance of the internet when setting up a marketing plan. So what does all this mean to you out there who's listening or watching on Facebook? What this means is that when you are looking for a real estate professional, it is very important that you sit down and actually listen to their marketing plan. Everybody is so worried about how much commission that they're getting paid. But they don't really concentrate on how the property is going to be marketed, which to me is an extremely important thing. And I think they need to spend a lot of time asking their real estate professionals, what are you going to do for me? What are you going to, how are you going to market my property? How are you different than everyone else? Because otherwise what you're going to do is you're going to get a bunch of people coming in here who are basically giving you the same presentation in a different way. So what you're looking for is somebody who thinks outside the box, who's actually trying to sell your home. So let me talk a little bit about some things that you can do to really select a good real estate professional. What's a good marketing plan? Well, somebody has to use social media, okay? I mean, social media, as I'm doing right now online, I mean, you go to Facebook right now, and I'm on Facebook Live. So it's very important that you have a good understanding of how the social media works, because social media is becoming more and more powerful to marketing. And a lot of times you can market to people through social media that you wouldn't be able to reach any other way. So social media is extremely important. Number two, having a good web presence. One of the things that I like to do for my listings, I like to give them all a dedicated landing page that has kind of everything itself. The URL is basically the home address, and it has 3D virtual walkthroughs. It has a lot of pictures, aerial photography, all kinds of different stuff. Having a custom website available so that people can really get an in-depth view of your house, because the MLS itself and a lot of those ancillary sites don't have all of the data that you might need. So, having a custom URL that has all of that stuff at its disposal and then kind of pointing people to that is an extremely valuable tool when it comes to real estate marketing. Well, after the break, we're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit more about reverse mortgages. You're listening to the Michael Gaddis Show on AM 1170, The Answer.